All right, y'all. It is Saturday. Saturday. So let's get to painting. What better way to spend a Saturday than to paint? And here's the funny thing. When I look at this painting, I'm like, there's a lot of work to be done. So much work to be done. But I can also see the good qualities in it, as far as having fun with the painting. But I want to push it further. I want to push it to some different areas. I want to explore the possibilities of this painting. So that's what we're going to do. We are going to explore the possibilities here. And by going safety first, of course, taking care of our hands. Because with oil paint, although oil paint isn't necessarily dangerous, I use a lot of mineral spirits, and oil paint can get really messy because you're using oil, right? Like oil just tends to stick and drip and like makes everything greasy and oily, of course, which isn't a bad thing. But depending on if you work out of a home studio or whether you work out of a studio, or maybe you work out of someone else's studio, I don't know, but oil paint can tend to just get everywhere. I mean, any paint can tend to get anywhere. But I think, some paints, oil paint, not necessarily toxic, and, there's different ingredients in different oil paints, and some oil paints are made safer than others because they don't use some of the traditional ingredients like real cadmium. They might substitute cadmium for something else or whatever. But depending on the types of oil paints you use, I do end up using a lot of mineral spirit. And mineral spirit for sure can, if you get it on your hands, it's going to, I don't know what it actually do, but it is highly recommended not to, constantly let mineral spirits drip onto you. Because mineral spirits, like you think about it, mineral spirits are meant to dry out oil paint really fast. Like if I mix my oil paint, if I mix my oil paint, if I take a brush and I mix a lot of oil paint, and I take a big chunk of oil paint and I use a lot of mineral spirits, the mineral spirits is going to dry the paint up so fast. So just imagine, what that could do to your hands, right? You have all these natural oils in your coming out of your every pore of your body. Everyone does, right? So just imagine what it could do to your hands, right? Like I don't want to test it out. I'm not a doctor. I can't tell you specifically what'll happen, and always speak to a doctor if you think that mineral spirits can be an issue. You don't necessarily have to use them, but I do. But I always just wear gloves, just for protecting my hands. I don't want my hands to dry out. I don't know exactly what it'll do, but I don't want my hands to dry out. I'm constantly, taking breaks and wanting to pet my cats. And, if I wear gloves, I don't have to wash my hands as often before, I do anything. I just take off the glove, grab a drink of water, put some new gloves back on, take off the gloves, go wash my hands real quick, pet my cats, put new gloves on, right? So that's why I wear gloves. People ask this question. I think it's really important for oil painting to have some sort of barrier between your hands and oil paint. Not necessarily because of the oil paint, depending on the type of oil paint you use. Obviously, if you're using lead white, you do not. I don't even think lead white is legal in many places. But if you do happen to use lead white, you got to protect your hands. You got to protect your hands. Maybe not every artist agrees, but I think it's important to protect your hands. Then acrylic, right? Acrylic, depending on the substances you use, just know the substances. Know your substances. So we're gonna go ahead and get started painting here. Let's just. I haven't been really fond of painting clouds and water, so this painting is gonna be a challenge for me. I'm really using this painting to challenge myself. Personally, why did my live stream is ended due to audio difficulties? Please check my connectivity and audio settings for starting a new stream. Okay. That's weird. What's wrong with my audio? Let's duplicate. Let's copy this. Copy. Add our thumbnail image. Preview. For some reason my other audio disconnected. What's going on with the audio here? Hello. Okay, let's just start painting. I can't worry about technical issues right now. But let's see. Let's start to build up some color here. Testing. How's the audio? Got my door open to have some air in here. And let's just play with this brush and just see how much we could push these clouds. I've never been very fond of painting clouds. It's just like, it's like such a complicated thing, but let's see how we can do it. Let's go with something a little bit brighter here. Let's grab a little bit of a white, pink white highlight. One of the challenges with oil paints is that you want to be able to paint on a regular basis, because otherwise you lose your paints. You know, you just start to lose your paint. I usually avoid painting clouds. It's not a big fan of it. So right now I'm forcing myself to paint something that I'm not totally comfortable with, just because sometimes I like to challenge myself. You know, I like to push myself to do the thing that I might not feel comfortable doing, because you never know what you can learn. And that's why this stream is titled "Chat is being so weird, blame it on my stream." Hannah, what's going on? Hey, thank you so much. So welcome to the stream. Very good to see some various names. So that's why this stream is titled "Stick Your Courage to the Screw Your Courage to the Sticking Point." It is a quote from Shakespeare, and I have to credit Kat, my girlfriend Kathleen, some of you might know her, for the quote, because I asked her, I was like, what's a good quote that I could talk about, you know, during a live stream? So she is a authority figure on Shakespeare. She taught Shakespeare in theater for quite a while. So I had to pull a quote from her. And she's also an author, but she writes romance novels for adults. So if you're ever curious, again, these are books that are romance, very adult novels. So if you're interested in that type of book, you can check out her book. It's on Amazon. Kathleen Roy. Her book, one book is titled "Confessions of a Nun." But again, that is an adult novel, not a kid's novel. So don't go not a you know, it's not really like, it's not really nun friendly. Let's just put it that way. The book is not for nuns. Anyway, that said, check out her book. It's on Amazon. It's a great book. It's on Amazon. Check it out. All right, so who's here? We got Hannah, and we got "That looks amazing." Liquid water, thank you. You know, I really am surprised. One of the first paintings I ever sold, somebody went through all of my paintings and they're like, "We really like this one." And I thought I had so many other great pieces, and that was one that I thought would never sell. Actually, I'm not going to share which one, because obviously I don't have the painting, but what I think is so funny about artwork is you never know what somebody's gonna like. Everybody's got different tastes, and yeah, you could kind of guess. Like, you just know that pop culture ideas. If you paint or draw Batman or Dragon Ball Z or Pokemon or any of those things, you're always going to be able to find an audience. Like, if you want to have a popular painting or live stream, paint popular figures, right? Paint pop figures. And I'm not saying that it's just like easy views. If I wrote that I was painting like One Punch Man right now, if you don't know One Punch Man, it's an animation. If I was saying that I was painting One Punch Man right now, I would probably get like every person who likes One Punch Man watching this, or at least like passing by, because it's obvious. Unfortunately, algorithms on like YouTube love that, right? Because YouTube is a search engine. We're getting into a little bit of marketing here, just like online marketing, but um, it's just one of those things. So I'm talking about like streaming now versus the actual craft of painting. But so painting clouds, me, I still have to figure it out, right? Like I'm still building. I think it's a bit of building color and contrast and light transitions and everything. I'm just trying to figure all that out. Again, I don't usually paint clouds. If you want to see some amazing cloud painting, well, actually, he doesn't really do demos. I think, there's a few artists that I'm like, they are definitely gatekeeping their methods of painting, and some people I think they definitely should, like Mark Maggiore. He doesn't, or maybe he just doesn't have the time to do tutorials. But Mark Maggiore, could definitely launch a successful cloud painting class, but he probably doesn't want to be known as like a cloud painter, even though he is. Amazing, brilliant artist, Mark Maggiore. I have a feeling that he will be recognized as one of the greatest painters of our time. As far as one of the greatest painters of our time, as far as Western scenes and as far as Western scenes go, I think he'll be considered the greatest artist of our time. Western scenes and clouds. It's a combination of both. So we're gonna paint along this outline here. So I'm just trying to create some contrast in the clouds, adding some more like white and red. Let's see if we can bring in some of this pink into here. Just a nice subtle little pink cloud area here. Or space in our sky, space between the clouds right here. I don't know how long, I have no clue how long this will take. It might take a while because I don't usually paint clouds. This is one of those paintings where I'm really forcing myself to try something different. I'd rather paint people any day, but I just saw this amazing photograph that I just felt like I had to paint, or had to test my skills on. Sometimes you got to do the thing. Oh yeah, by the way, that's what this stream is about ultimately. Liquid Water, thank you, shout out for the compliment. So that's why the stream is titled "Screw Your Courage to the Sticking Point." That is a Shakespeare quote in the context of, I think it's the Scottish play, and that's the context of it. And screw your courage to the sticking point. I keep butchering it, but so my plan of attack is to just keep building up these sections little by little. I'm going to focus on using like reds to build up these sections and allow some of these clouds to just kind of start to blend and create its form. Let's see, we're gonna add some nice like highlight around here. And let's go. Screw your curves stick. But what does that actually mean? I had to have Kat break it down for me when I got the quote. I was like, what does that even mean? How do you like how? What does that quote mean, right? And I think we came to the conclusion that it means like, be brave, have some courage, take a screw and screw your courage to the point, right? So that's the idea. That's what that means, I guess. I don't know her, but the way she described it, that totally makes sense. So I'm gonna focus on like red and pink clouds, and we're gonna go ahead. Do I teach? So I can teach, but my live streams are not teaching streams. My live streams are, uh, more of like a performance, for lack of a better. It's like for entertainment. Um, if you like, so depending on what you want to draw, what you want to learn, you can obviously contact me if you really, really want. But I pretty much share all my thoughts. I think the thing about my live streams is I can teach, but I think it's the mindset, these mindset things that I share, overcoming like your fears. Because in my previous stream when I started this, I was like, you know, the thing about painting clouds is it's not like you can have a technique, right? If you have develop a technique for painting clouds, but the reason why I chose these clouds in this ocean is more so because I know deep down, if I know what's on in my mind, that I have a fear of painting it. Not like I'm quivering in a corner type of fear, but just like, oh, what if I fail? I don't like normally paint clouds. They're really hard and challenging, and I don't have a technique. And there's all these like doubts, right? There's all these little things that pop in your head that I'm like, oh, okay, I can't do that because whatever. And then you come up with reasons, but deep down I know that the reality is that I'm just being scared, but there's no reason to be scared of painting something. Now, if you do become a really successful artist or something, right, like a portrait painter, or I'm sure Bob Ross can't paint a portrait, and kind of like you shouldn't expect him to paint a portrait, right? So to ask Bob Ross to paint a portrait would be kind of pointless. So there's that element, but also, I do these live streams more so as like motivation, right? If you are scared to do something, but you want to do it, you want to paint clouds, don't be afraid. Pick up a brush, go paint, go do that painting. And I think I do, and I think that's like the most important thing out of anything that you could teach, right? Out of all the things that you could possibly teach, the skills, the painting, the methods, I think it's really just having the mindset is probably the most powerful thing to. We're gonna go with some gray here. Let's go a little bit more white. That mindset and being able to like screw your courage to the sticking point, as the quote suggests, right? What do I know? I'm just a YouTube painter. What do I know? All right, so let's go like this. Here's the funny thing. So one thing I realized recently is that I'm able to keep track of all the hours that I spend painting on YouTube, and I have a goal of eventually reaching 10,000 hours of painting on YouTube. That's one of my personal goals. It might take me, 15 years. It might take me 10 years. And supposedly there's this idea that if you, spend a certain amount of time doing something, you consider yourself a master. And the funny thing is, I'm like thinking about it now. Even if I spent 10,000 hours making paintings on YouTube, I still wouldn't feel like a master. I'd still be like, oh, well, how do you do this? And like, what should we do next? So There's that. Always be learning. If I could teach anything, yeah, pretty much share everything on my live streams. You know, if you pop in, you're like, hey, I want to try this or try that. Maybe, you know, you'll pick something up. But every painting pretty much stays the same. You know, starts the same. You're building up. You're starting with certain colors, and then you just build it up. The skills that will change is how you're designing, and like just color mixing, getting used to mixing different colors. I realized this. So before I got into art, or as I was getting into art, I was studying digital art, and I probably bought 20 courses, at least 20 courses on how to digital paint. And you know what? They were all they all pretty much had the same structure. I'm going to share this with you. How does my channel not get more viewers on a Saturday? Thank you, Amiza. How does my channel not get more viewers on a Saturday? I don't know. What's everybody doing on a Saturday other than why would they not be watching painting? Who could possibly have something to do on a Saturday other than watching painting? But you know what I realized from at least a few dozen courses that I've taken from digital painting. I'm not saying that these aren't valuable courses, but the fundamentals are almost always the same. They all start with the same, right? Paint a sphere, paint the cube, paint something else. But I really think that there's a better way, is, you know, to realize that can be put in chapter 1 of any. That's the first chapter in every single book. A little bit about color, a little bit about materials, and you know, and those are important. Those are important. It also helps if you're trying to learn to have somebody literally tell you exactly what you should be getting. You know, that'll save a lot of time too, because I've experimented with a lot of materials, and those materials can really have a effect on your painting if you get the wrong ones. So it's important to get the right ones, but yeah, try to find the right materials. Have no fear painting. If I ever wrote a book, it would be No Fear Painting. Painting for everybody. Painting is for everyone. Let's see, how do we do this? We're gonna go. I like how this is okay, but I think we got to. Let's see, how are we going like this? I'm trying to get like wispy clouds. Yeah, you can watch my live streams if you go through any of my live streams and you watch the whole live stream. Eventually, I will, you know, put every 6 months. I think I'm gonna put my live streams behind a subscriber wall. But if you catch a live stream and you see something that you like, you can just watch it. If you really want one-on-one tutorials, I mean, you can always contact me through any of my emails. But I really think, as far as art goes, I think the philosophy, how you approach painting, is more important than anything. Like anyone could tell you, like, oh, well, you know, you should make this proportion better, or you could draw this line better, or, you know, if you compare 2 photos, you could be your own judge, right? You could take 2 photos and be like, well, this doesn't look like it, and if you really spend enough time to look at it, you'll know exactly why it doesn't look like it. And, you know, it's up to the artist to decide how much time to spend modifying those things. But I think it's that mindset that is going to take people further. It's the mindset. Mindset is everything, almost. So we're gonna find we're gonna look for a blue here, a really dark blue. Just try to find some nice shadow into here. So we can go here. I think my she's getting attacked by the kittens. She can't handle cats getting scratched. Alright, so we're gonna go like this. And but I do talk about everything on my live streams, you know, not just technique or whatever. But this whole concept of, you know, mindset, having like your own approach. So here we go. Just trying to find some darker areas of this. And again, this is pretty experimental. I don't usually paint clouds for a reason, but I really want to see how far I can push some of the ideas working with clouds and stuff. And let's see, let's go into some of this water here. Let's go with this deep gray. Let's try to find some space here. We're gonna go down into here. This is gonna go right here. Trying to keep this natural flow of water coming up. And then find like a nice little line right here. Let's go. The paint's still really wet, the black paint. I can feel that it's wet in some places. And that's the other thing. So the other thing that I'm grappling with here in this painting is how close do I want to push it to real? Because that was like my initial intention, is like, oh, you know, I'm gonna paint some, I'm gonna see how beautiful of like clouds and water I could paint. Alexa off. But now I'm like, do I really want to do that? Do I want to do that, or do I want to have fun with this? So, you know, it's what is your intention? And then I gotta know, is my intention, am I giving myself an out? Am I giving myself excuses to not learn how to paint clouds, or am I just never gonna be a cloud painter? That's a question. And I think that's more of like, you know, this talk isn't like art teacher talk. This is like, well, this isn't really like technique talk. This is, I think, like personal artistic vision talk, right? Like, if you can't paint clouds, if you can't paint animals, but you could paint portraits, or you love painting cartoons, or, you know, drawing cartoons, or you like to paint dinosaurs or whatever, you gotta find what you really, really like to do. And maybe you were never meant to paint the other things. Maybe you're meant to create something better, bigger. Which reminds me, I gotta go. I'm gonna leave this live stream on, but I need to go grab some laundry. So we're gonna leave this live stream on here for a moment. But there's so many great. Yo, Bobo go, no Bob Ross. Okay. Why am I thinking that should be okay? All right, we're gonna be right back. I'm gonna grab some laundry. Let me take off these gloves here. Bobo Go said something. I don't know exactly what he said, but it was something. boy. Come on. Ugh. Simba's like, what's going on in there? All right, we're back. Let's paint clouds and oceans and just build up color. Now you can think. My talking makes you not able to think. That makes sense. Bob Ross, happy, summer's hard, trees, sun, Bob Ross, most intense. Yes, Bob Ross was a very intense guy. I love Bob Ross. I love Bob Ross. Loved watching him growing up. And I will say the more I paint, the more like I'm not really happy, like I'm not fond of Bob Ross's painting style as far as, you know, like if I just saw someone paint like Bob Ross, if I just saw his painting sitting somewhere and it wasn't Bob Ross, I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't really think twice about it. I wouldn't really like give it a second look. However, because it is Bob Ross, you know, I think he gave more than just art, right? Bob Ross gave more than just art to the world. He gave everybody who ever watched him an interest in painting, an interest in art, an excuse, a reason to fail, to succeed. And I think more importantly, that's probably the greatest gift that Bob Ross gave. It's not, you know, his painting ability. I don't honestly, like, I go to a lot of art shows and art galleries, and like you never see anything in those art galleries that look like Bob Ross, you know, look like a Bob Ross landscape. You just don't see those. Because as far as like, you know, what I guess modern tastes are and everything, it's just not in demand. But again, more importantly, is there any single artist alive that was not inspired in some form or fashion by Big Bob? I don't think so. So I need to create like some separation here. There's a lot of expressive ideas, but no real substance here. You know, this is all just kind of messy. And I don't know if I want to keep pushing these clouds like with these colors, or do I want to just go ham? Let's go with some lighter blues. We're gonna grab our blue here. We're gonna grab our white. We're gonna push in with our blue. And yes, so no sun in this painting. No sun right now. And let me see. I'm gonna come up with this blue a little bit right into here. There's some contrasting colors. And we come right up in here. Get our blue. And we're gonna paint this. Let's see how far across. Get some blues here. Some expressive ideas. Something that flows. Maybe add a hint of green. I think I need like a hint of green here. Just a little dab of green will do. Ever so slightest dab of green. There we go. Just darkens it just a little bit. With this green, very helpful. All right. I hear Cat getting hurt by these kittens. We might have to send them back to the shelter. Hold on. I'm kidding, by the way. I usually joke about that. When little kittens are hurting you too much. When little kittens are digging their little claws into you, you gotta take them back to the shelter. I'm kidding. I'm not gonna take them back just because they're digging their claws. Just making a joke here. Cat, I think you have to send them back. They can't keep hurting you. I don't know if anybody can hear what's going on in the bedroom, but there's a lot of screaming and shouting because these little baby kittens don't know how to retract their claws and they're digging them right into the cat. And I think we might have to take them back to the shelter. I don't know. What do we think? No, just kidding. We won't. But yes, we foster some kittens. We're taking care of these for now. You know what? Kittens have such cute chins, right? Don't you have such a cute chin, bro? What you looking at? You smell like chocolates. Why do you smell like chocolates? You don't need chocolate, do you? You don't have chocolate. This little kitten is causing skin damage. Yes, little baby orange cat. You need to find him a home, by the way. If anybody's in Los Angeles and wants to adopt a kitten, he is for adoption. Oh, wow. Okay, I'll send you back to the bedroom. Okay, go back to the bedroom with your brother. You go. Squeaky toy. Whew, I threw 3 pairs of gloves already. Okay. So let's try to find our blue here. So I'm pushing this blue. I really want to push this blue across. I really like this blue. It's like an off blue green, like a light, very light aqua. I don't know what to call this color. Light aqua. Hey, cat! Why don't you close the door? The bedroom door.
It's in a hurry to get to the bathroom. I'll get up in a minute.
So I don't like to have like really baby kittens around my paints too much. Sometimes the paint will drip. Or like I'm moving around and I don't want to step on them. So, sometimes it's okay, but, I'd rather just leave them in the bedroom when I can. I have plenty of time to roam around. They really like to, just pop up and surprise you right by your feet. So that's the thing. I don't want to accidentally step on them. Well, one was by my foot. Now it's. Just go find them. I don't know.
Looking. Let's see them.
Well, just make sure they're in the bedroom.
I don't know. These clothes are wet.
I know they're whatever.
Where are you?
Just make sure they're both in there.
They're not.
All right. Okay, this is part home reality show.
Really? They're eating.
Part
Your coat?
live stream art show.
Eating.
Okay. Let's throw some more of this pink color. I'm really liking this. Really liking this like darker shade of green here. Just finding some more, pronounced colors, and I think the green, it's like an off green, like a lighter aqua, and I think what it's doing is it's helping us contrast with the reds here. It's really giving us some nice contrast, and it's a more natural green than this blue underlayer here that we have. That's a little bit off. It's a little too blue, and it just doesn't look right. So we're painting over that, and we all know that it's going to show through, which is great. The little bits of darker blue are going to show through, and that's fine. But ultimately, we do want more of this lighter color. Yeah.
Cheeto is like he's inside the bowl eating.
Oh.
It's so funny.
So kittens do right now. And this looks weird up here, but we'll probably adjust that. We want, let's see, we're gonna go into here. And let's go right, we're gonna come up with this, bring this around, try to find some nice spots to kind of just make it pop a little bit. And maybe instead of giving it this roundness, we're gonna let it extend out. This piece right here is okay. Let's bring this closer to, oh yeah, here's another section. We're gonna bring this a little closer to white. So a little closer to white. We're gonna make this little transition right here. And sometimes I think it's good to understand the reasoning that things are happening, things are changing, which I think is probably maybe more important than in like landscape. So right now I gotta ask myself the question, why does the landscape, look like, why do the clouds look like this? And I think, if we really think about it, the clouds that are directly above you are going to be bigger because they're closer, technically, right? But if you start to look off all the way into the horizon, everything is much smaller. You start to see less openings. So I'm just like analyzing here, what is the reasoning behind, some of the things that are the little transitions here that are happening. So for this to get a little brighter is okay, I think.
Stop it, Pookie. Stop.
And Bobo Go, by the way, thanks again for popping in again, Bobo Go. Bobo Go on Amazon Live has helped to support my Amazon live streams, of course. So thank you for that. A returning viewer on Amazon. I think Amazon Live is so fascinating. I mean, I love, of course I love all these streaming platforms that I use. But what I find fascinating about Amazon Live is it's connected to Amazon Prime. The other day I was watching Amazon Prime, and people live streaming just popped up on my Amazon Prime stream. And that's kind of cool to me, isn't it? Is that interesting to anybody else? It's really interesting to me. Maybe not to everyone else. All right. So the kittens are out. They're out and about. As long as they don't come near my foot in this area that I'm painting in, I'm cool with it. Just when they get too close to me, I'm concerned about all the things that they get into. And you know what? They could get into it like when I'm not here. Sometimes we leave it open, but I think the fact that I'm here makes them more inclined to want to like hang out and like be by my foot and get some attention. Cat talk. Cat talk. Some cat talk right now. Talking about cats. So we have 6 cats right now. Got 2 senior cats, 2 cats that are just above a year old, and we have 2 kittens that are probably less than like 3 months old. So we're taking care of 6 cats. And sometimes, you know, these cats get a little wild. Huh?
All the time.
Yeah, all the time. All the time, yeah. All right, let's figure out how we're gonna build this up. And Riri, hey, Riri has started following. Thanks for the follow, really appreciate it. Thanks for tuning in. And I know that this live stream is really different than a lot of the Amazon lives. I know this is a little bit like less. I don't know. I feel like Amazon Live has an amazing streamers that like they literally work out of a studio, and they have all the latest gadgets and products in the most beautiful setting. But you know, I'm very glad for people that are open to a live stream that is a bit more just chilling in an apartment with a bunch of cats. The crazy cat artist. Maybe I'll be recognized as that one day. The crazy cat artist. Not because I paint cats, but because I have an absurd amount of cats. I think anything above 3 cats is pretty absurd. So if you got 4 or more, like I think Omizu here, Mizu on my YouTube live he probably holds the title for crazy cat, dude. Right, Omizu? You were he was the first crazy cat guy. I'm just doing my own thing, trying to take care of cats. All right. How are we going with this? How realistic do I want to take this? That is the question. How deep is your love? Is my question. How deep is your love? All right. We're gonna go right here. Add some highlight. Bring that across. We need. And part of this is really just dabbing in different little amounts of light here and there. These are some really challenging clouds because it's like all this dark stuff underneath, these dark colors. How do I want to do this? All right, let me do this. This color. Where can we finalize this color here? Oh yeah, we can add some right down here. Let's go across. Oops, it should be a bit more angled. Terry, you know, one thing that I find interesting about painting and art is like how much art actually is like proprietary technology. And what I mean by that is, you know, people usually get like patents for what do you call it? Technology, like inventions and stuff. But no, I mean, people have patents or trademarks on their IP, but no one really like patents the way that they paint. And there's a few artists that I'm like, wow, they are some amazing painters. For example, Mark Maggiore, but he has never made a video that actually shows how he paints or any content. I think he believes, I could tell that he believes his cloud his method of painting clouds is highly confidential. You can tell, like the more I paint, the more I realize any other artist on social media, I can almost sense their fears, their doubts, the things that they believe. Like the things that they reveal and don't reveal. You can really get into like the mind of an artist when you paint more. It's really interesting. And sometimes I kind of make stuff up. Like I don't actually know if Mark Maggiore, as an artist, is afraid to reveal his cloud painting method, or maybe not afraid, but just like realizes how valuable it is because he makes some amazing cloud paintings. But Picasso painted in secret. It's almost like today. It's just like the norm to just reveal your, to just like do things publicly. But I also love the idea that sometimes things can be kept a secret. Methods of Mark Maggiore will forever be secret. And I think as far as secrets go in painting, I mean anybody can look at a painting. If you paint long enough, you can go to a museum and pretty much break down anybody's style. So nothing's really secret, but like if you're in a modern setting and you're looking at people online, you can't really get a really good close glimpse of what they're doing, and unless you have one of their pieces. So anyway, I would buy a cloud painting tutorial from Mark Maggiore. I wonder if he has one. All right. So anyway, let's go. But then also, yo, what's up, Josh Harvey? Great in France. But also, I feel like if you learn your painting from somebody else, you can still come up with your own style. You know, your style can evolve. You can like transform someone else's style into your own. But I also feel as if if you always try to take your ideas from a different artist and actually learn their specific technique and follow them to the T, yeah, you could be one of their best students, but also at the same time you might never develop your own flavor, which that's another reason why on my live streams I try not to like teach as much as I try to just like share what my thoughts are. I want people to paint like me. I want people to paint like themselves, to figure out their own ideas, to discover the truth in their art, to find their own courage, their amusement, their voice, their creative endeavors, all of these things. I'd rather have people find those things rather than call my work. All right, what I need now is I need to get over this brush. How do I get over this brush? I'm gonna go around and kind of bring some subtle lights here, and we're gonna bring some subtle lights here. Just using the edge of the brush here, because I know I have a lot of paint on it. So we're gonna go bring the edge of the brush here. And then maybe a little bit right here, just ever so slightly. That's not slight at all, but we'll go right there. A little bit right there. Let's just use the edge of the brush just to create a little bit of transition right there. Yo, Cheeto. What's up, dude? Please don't come here. Please don't come to me, buddy. Please. Don't make me have to take off my gloves and pick you up. Yeah, go over there. Oh boy. So look at this. You see him? See him right here? He's trying to go on his other perch. He's trying to jump across to his thing. Oh yeah, y'all can't see the kitten, huh? Happy creating. Where is he? There's Cheeto. Just trying to find his footing. All right, dude. Come on. Go on your perch, please. See, that's another reason why you wear gloves, is if you have like pets, little animals, you constantly want to be able to like just be ready to pick them up. Right, little guy. I love cat chins. Does anybody love a cat chin? It's like between their noses and their chins. Yes, little guy. And how do cats always smell like some candies? They smell like candy. You just want to eat them. Cheeto. Mr. Cheeto. The orange cat Cheeto. What's up, Cheeto? Look at the markings on his head. Aren't they cool? Rorschach. What does his marking look like? It's a tribal marking. Wouldn't it be cool if humans were born like tribal markings on their head? You know, like we all just were naturally tattooed or had like these birthmarks that, like these really symmetrical birthmarks. He's a Taurus? He's a Taurus. What time am I gonna be there? Oh, I gotta respond to a text. He's a Taurus. Are you a Taurus, little guy? Oh, it does look like a bull. It is a little bull. You Taurus, little guy. If you've had enough of me, let me know so I can put you somewhere else away from you. Yes. Little cat chin, look at that. Look at a little cat chin right there. He is definitely, hopefully whoever adopts him will put him in movies, because I could definitely see him being Yours has been waiting his turn to use it for years. You hear that, Cheeto? Got one brain cell. All of you have one brain cell. You're not gonna fall asleep, are you? I can't hold you for an hour. One brain cell cat, single brain cell. One brain cell to lead them all. Look at him. He has a little black spot on his ear. Isn't that cute? A little black spot on his ear right there. It's a little black spot. Get my little kitten addiction fix. Yes. If I had non like cat friendly paints, I would totally do like a paw painting. For now, I just gotta hold him until he gets sick of me. At some point, he's gonna get bored and he's gonna want to go do something else. So, I kind of have to annoy him. Annoy him enough? What's up, dude? It smells like his face smells like chocolate, but his body does smell a little like Cheetos. What is it, Taurus? Alexa, what birthday is Taurus?
Okay, here's daily horoscope. Authority figures and bosses will not be your most popular people.
Alexa, off. Alexa, what is the birth date of a Taurus? Oh my goodness, it's time to get ready to go. Oh my goodness. I gotta get ready to go places. We gotta get ready to go places. We can't finish this painting tonight, huh? Gotta be going places. We gotta get going places. Yeah. Little guy. Okay. Taurus is April. Oh yeah, so I guess he is a Taurus. He was probably born in the past 2 months. I think he's less than 2 months. Little guy's a Taurus. He doesn't, I mean, I don't really know the signs, but he doesn't, I don't know, he's not too hard-headed. Is Artaris hard-headed? I don't know. That's just my guess.
Bullheaded, yes.
Bullheaded, yes.
Versus a bull.
All right. Something has his attention. Yep, we are fostering. We are a vacation. We are taking care of him because his actual foster. Okay, here we go. He's bored. Perfect. Let's get him back to. Oh, we're not going to be able to work a little more on this painting. I got to get ready to go here in a few. Let's see. All right, we actually got somewhere to be. Orange Cat Gang. Yeah, so we got the kitten. We have the kitten, and then we have like an adult orange cat, and then we have this little girl. She's not really little anymore. Like this girl, she's like part an orange cat. Look at her. She's look at how she holds herself on here. She's definitely an orange cat, right? A little crazy orange cat here. Huh? Okay, alright. Oh, ow. Alright. With that, let's see how far we continue with this landscape here. We're gonna keep going, but not right now. Is she clingy? No, my cats are not clingy at all. None of my cats are clingy, actually. The kittens can be a little bit, but she's very independent. She's only clingy when you're at the dinner table. She's only clingy like if she knows it's time to like eat, and you're sitting down to prepare. She gets really like all up on you. I think that's her strategy. But Omizu's got 6 dogs, 6 cats and a dog. Yeah, so Omizu is the original crazy cat artist guy. I don't know about the crazy part. I don't know the extent of Omizu's crazy. But okay, that said, everybody, thanks, and we're gonna take a break here to go do some stuff today. And I hope everybody has a creative rest of their afternoon. All right, goodbye till a couple hours from now.